BET is shaking, and so am I. Deborah Lee, who is the CEO, former CEO of BET, we found out today that she's a home-wrecking harlot. Let's talk about it. So BET was started by Sheila Johnson and Bob Johnson. They are known as the first black billionaires. And they first started BET at a time where there was no all-black network. So there was a need there. They sought it out and created this together. Sheila Johnson actually said in her marriage with Bob Johnson that she felt like she lost herself. And it took her 2 years after the divorce in 2002 to actually find herself again. Well, come to find out, the CEO right after Bob Johnson, who was Deborah Lee, it turns out after her spilling all the tea that she was having an affair with Bob Johnson the entire time. Now, this is Deborah Lee, and Deborah Lee is promoting her new memoir, her self-help book, allegedly self-help, I Am Deborah Lee, where she is coming out talking about her time at BET. She said while she was having the affair with Bob Johnson, that he told her she could not stop the affair or she would lose her job. Now, Deborah Lee started off as a lawyer. She started off as their lawyer, I do believe. And then Bob hired her onto the company. So he hired his harlot onto his company, which is an absolute mess. I'm sure that Sheila Johnson, usually like most wives, knew the whole time. But not only did that lady have to sit there while you worked for BET for 20 years and then 13 years after, absolute mess. And you ought to be ashamed, Deborah Lee. I am not on your side. Now, why am I saying I'm not on her side? The way she's going about it. She is implementing the Me Too movement into her coming out, saying at the time, because her job was threatened, she saw no way out of this relationship, like she was stuck in it. Not only did this affair allegedly ruin Bob's marriage, it ruined her marriage. Now, don't cry for Miss Sheila Johnson. She's married now to a judge. She's been married for a long time. She looks happy. She owns all kinds of resorts and everything. But I'm not going to hold you. If I was Sheila Johnson, I would still have some hands for you, Deborah Lee. And you ought to be ashamed to come out with this and try to get women to rally behind you during Women's History Month, Deborah Lee. How could you? How dare you? How dare you do this to your legacy? I almost wish she never came out and told this, but I wish that she never came out and did this. Now, Bob Johnson, don't get it twisted. I'm definitely looking at you. Not only did you drag your wife Sheila through the mud while you were with her, you paraded your hoe in front of her face. And then after you left the company that y'all built together, your actual side chick got to take over the company for years after that and create generational wealth in her family. That's some dark stuff. But now Bob, self-made black billionaire, is married to a 37-year-old, and I hope she takes you for all she's worth. She was a concierge at the Four Seasons, so she's getting what she deserved too.